Hello, everybody. Welcome to Curiosity Corner Live. My name is Joy, and I am coming to you from the Great Lakes Science Center, where we are currently closed to the public because we were lucky enough to be part of the NFL draft this year. But we are still bringing you a brand new video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday through May 14th, all about the science of football. Now, we would like to extend a very special thank you to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio for sharing their curriculum with us and making these videos possible. And if you want to learn more about what they're up to, make sure you check out their website at www.profootballhof.com. Now, today we are going to learn a little bit more about what a football is made of and how it's made. Now, footballs, as we have learned, are a shape called a prolate spheroid, but they haven't always looked exactly like this. Very early footballs were not made of leather like they are today. They were made of a different material that was pretty easy to inflate. It was relatively easy to get, but the issue was it wasn't really able to be uniform. Every single person who had an early football had one that looked a teeny bit different. And if you're just playing football in the backyard, that's fine. But if you want to start a league like the NFL where everything is even and fair, you want to have the same shape and material for every single football. Now, today, footballs are made, like I said, with leather, and there's also a rubber bladder on the inside. So if you look closely at this football, there's these individual seams all the way around. And that happens because there's individual pieces of leather that are all sewn together. And then because they're sewn inside out, they're flipped to be right side out. And then there's a rubber bladder that is inserted into the leather. And then the footballs get their laces like so. Now, the laces help hold the panels together, but they also help football players with grip. So if you've watched a football player throw a pass, they usually hold it and grip on somewhere to the laces. Now, leather is a really good tool to make footballs because it's pretty durable. If you drop a football, see how it's a shape? I dropped it. It's still that shape. It escaped. But it's still the same shape that it was when I dropped it. And it's not super smooth. There's like a texture on here that helps with grip. But I wonder if leather is the only material that we could use to make a football. So what we are going to do is we are going to be football engineers and see if we can figure out if there's another material that we could use to make a football. Now, when we throw a football, it's relatively easy with a leather football because they're hollow. They're not solid on the inside. There's just air in there. They're pretty light. I can toss it back and forth. When I throw it, it flies pretty well. So, flies pretty darn well. It's not too heavy. And like I said, keeps its shape. And it's a pretty, relatively easy, if you know how to build a football, pretty straightforward. You can sew your pieces together. But let's see some other different materials. So, you just saw what a regular football flies like. This is a football that I made. It is entirely aluminum foil. This is not hollow because aluminum foil is super thin. It has like an aluminum foil core and then an aluminum foil outside. So a couple of big differences between the foil football and my regular football. This foil football is a little bit smaller. Every regulation football is about a foot long and 22 inches around. This is also about a foot long, but it's not quite as thick. And this does have laces like regular football does, but they are literally made of foil and taped on. They don't actually hold anything together. But another big difference is that this is much heavier than a regular football. Because it's a solid aluminum foil core, it's not hollow, so this is real dense. So let's see how well this flies. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Not so well. Because this is so heavy, it sinks real fast. And I don't know how well you can tell, but it's kind of flat on one side now. So it was round, now it's got this flat side. So aluminum foil not going to fall apart. This was relatively easy to build. I just squished a whole bunch of foil together and sculpted. Does not fly very well, and it does not hold its shape very well either. But that's okay, because I'm engineering. I can go back to the drawing board and improve on my design. So the next one I want to try is this one. This is a cardboard football. It is also hollow like a regular football. I just cut out a bunch of pieces and I experimented with size, but what I ended up doing was tracing the football on the side of a cardboard box, and then I cut them out and sort of taped them all together. So I know the regular footballs are round. This one's pretty flat. So that's one big difference. But this is hollow, just like a regular football. It's about the same weight. So let's see what happens when I try and throw it. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. It flies decently well. It holds its shape pretty well. It hasn't fallen apart at all. It's not really squished. The one big difference I would say between this and a regular football is it's really hard to grip. So regular footballs, because they're curved, you can grip them pretty well. This one, not so great. So cardboard football flies pretty well, holds its shape pretty well, kind of hard to grip and throw them. So let's try one more. I made this one. It has a cardboard inside, and I just put some thin plastic on to see if that would make it any lighter. Now, in terms of ease of construction, I will say this one was the hardest one for me to build because my foil football and my cardboard football were all just pieces that I had to put together somehow. This required a lot of maneuvering to try to get this plastic exterior to go where I wanted it to go. So this one was the hardest to build. Now, it is pretty light. It's not hollow because it has this cardboard piece in the middle to help it keep its shape. But I wonder if the fact that the outside is so light will help make up for the fact that it's not hollow on the inside and make it fly better. So let's see, plastic football, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So it flies decently. Didn't go as far, but this thing is very dented now in the front. It was not dented before. It's very dented now. So this one doesn't really hold its shape very well. So now we've seen a couple of different ways that we can make footballs at home. And for me, the best result was my cardboard football because it was the most durable and it flew the best of the 3 that I made. So that brings me to your challenge for today, which is to be a football engineer and build your own football with any materials that you have at home. You can try anything that I showed you, or maybe you have something at home that you think might make a better football. So once you do that, take it outside, throw some passes around, see how well your football flies, how far it goes, how well it can keep its shape when it hits the ground. And if you happen to have a regular football at home, take that out with you. Compare a regular football that's made of leather with different footballs that you engineered to be made out of different materials. And no matter what you try, we want to see what you create. So take photos of your creations, take videos of your footballs flying through the air, and share them with us on social media. You can tag us, use our hashtag StayCurious, CLE, and we cannot wait to see what you discover. Now, once you're done with all of that, make sure you put all of your materials away, clean up your whole workspace. Don't forget to wash your hands. And then you can come back to our YouTube channel for another new video all about the science of football every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday through May 14th at 10 a.m. So, get creating, have fun, and until next time, stay curious.